Hello everyone, welcome back to Base Damage and welcome back to Community Fridays. This week we have an SAO deck from Nuke in the Base Damage Discord. I also, just off rip, love the title here. Bushiroad Springfest 2025, if work doesn't hold me hostage. Okay. Just thought that was comical. I noticed it right before I hit record and I was like, well, I gotta draw attention to it now. But yeah, no, okay, so they sent this in the Community Fridays channel and it seems to be pretty interesting. It is if it will finish loading here, 4 standby, 4 choice, using the Argo top end. I remember entering into teams one year using the Link Strike Kirito and the Silica standby as well. So I'm kind of familiar with several of the cards in here. It's just been a hot minute. So let's refresh all of our memories and hop right into this. So let's start. This is an interesting tech piece for a lot of the SAO standby decks in general, because obviously standby doesn't give a shit about color, but you can hard cast this anyway because your yellow's on your top end anyway. But even if yellow wasn't my top end, I could still tech this in because of the first effect up here. So Attack and Waves Asana is a 3/2/5K. All of your avatar or net characters in front of this card get 2,000 power and the following ability. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may put that character into your opponent's memory. So a little bit optional removal there, just depending if they have something a little bit annoying going on, but also just the free 2K in general. If you are able to hard cast it though, this does have a good second effect. On play to stage from hand, search your deck for one avatar net, add it to your hand. The other one is a climax combo with something they're obviously not using. It's the switch combo from back in the day with a Attack and Waves Kirito. I always love this card as well because I remember, like I said, that same team tournament where I was using the standby SAO deck. When I had this in the back row, my opponents were just really, really wanting me to send their shit to memory. I remember one dude specifically, constantly going, he's like, you sure? You sure I don't want to send it to memory? Come on, you sure? Goading me to want to fucking memory compress him. I'm like, dude, I'm not stupid. I'm not sending it to memory. Fuck off. It just didn't make it just was really funny how much the one guy tried to goad me into memory compressing him, and I'm like, I'm not a dumbass, dude. What the fuck? Anyway, moving on. So the Climax combo, Rising Expectations Argos, a 3/2/10K. Up to one type return during the turn this card is placed on stage from hand. When damage dealt by this card is cancelled, put the top card of your deck into your waiting room. Deal X damage to your opponent. X equals to the level of that milled card plus 1. So what people typically refer to as a Musashi effect from level 3 from Kantai back in the day is this exact same effect. But the Climax combo is when this card attacks, if reliable information, which is the choice trigger, is in your Climax area. You can pay 2, and if you do, burn 3. Now, interesting thing for this, you can standby it in and just get this combo off. If you hard cast it though, and just this is the difference though between hard casting versus standbying in, and then doing it another turn. The Musashi effect only kicks if you hard cast it from hand. But if you do, you have 2 chances of the cancel burn effect going off, both from its damage and from the burn 3, so you could possibly get it on either one. The difference being is you're just going to have the 2 instances of damage with the Climax combo if you standby it in and then try to use it again the following turn. So just something to keep in mind for that. So I'm assuming this person is trying to do a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Probably standbying in one, but then maybe hard casting another, so you can kind of get that. So it's just being mindful of which one has which effect, but 4 copies of that, understandable. 1 copy of Silica's Bashful Troubled Look. This is all the way back from the first fucking set. 3/2/9/5, 500 power for each of your other avatar net characters. And when this is placed on stage from your hand, you can pay 1, burn for 1. Just really nice. Something always you do have to keep in mind as well with standby is on-play effects. Like I said with the Argo as well. You just have to be mindful of effects like that are not going to go off. But continuing on. Link Strike Silica. This has just always been a really good one for standbying in, even if you do miss the second effect. This has just always been one of those really good effects. 3/2/9/5. If all of your characters are avatar net, this gets 1,500 power, so she's constantly in 11k. And during this card's battle, your opponent cannot play backup from hand. This is just a really funny card to stand by in and just go, cool, I'm going to swing, you can't anti-change me, swing with something else, you know? It's just really annoying to have that effect. On play, or by the effect of the Link Strike Kirito, which we're not running for this one, you can heal one. So once again, on play effects and just really good effects to have even if you stand by them in. 2 copies of Best Girl. Adventure with Everyone Elizabeth is a 3/2/9K. If the number of climaxes in your waiting room is 2 or less, this gets -1 level in hand. Gets 500 power for each of your other avatar net characters. So basically full field, she's constantly at 11. And when this card is placed on stage from hand, you can discard a card, put the top card of your clock into the stock. Just stock healer. Very nice. This was like, I know this isn't like the very first card of this, but I remember in English, this is one of the first instances that I recognized stock heal on a card, and I was like, oh shit, this is really good. So, moving on, we have 1 copy of Top Class Blacksmith Elizabeth. This is from the anniversary set. This is really good. Say 3/2/10K. On play, you can pay 1. If you do, you get to pick one of the following effects and perform it. Either your opponent puts all of their stock into waiting room and put the same number of cards from the top of their deck into stock, basically buns for luck on a Liz, or all of your characters get 4k power till end of turn. Whichever you need, which that's not a small buff by any means of the imagination. That is actually relevant. So it's one of those things of, oh, I'm going to hold this in the back pocket. Do I need to stock swap you, or do I just need to trample over your face? Like, it's just really nice there. Really love that. That is it for the 3s. How many 3s do we have here? 3, 5, 7, 11. 7, 11, huh? But 11 level 3s. Next, getting to the level 2s. 3 copies of Rhapsodic Liz. This is a 2/2/6/5. This card gets 1,000 power for each of your other avatar net characters. So with the full field, she's a 10/5. And what is considered a reduced encore. At the beginning of your encore step, if you do not have any other rested characters in your center stage, you can pay 1 to rest her. So if your whole field gets reversed, you can at least pay 1 to save her, then you can encore the others however you need to. So reduced encore cost, basically. Very nice. 2/1/55 Surging Raid Silica. I don't think I've ever used this one. If your other character in the middle position of the center stage gets character encore, and she's a global 1k, just to all of your avatar net characters. Very nice. Okay. I actually didn't even know this was a card. 2 copies of this is from the anniversary set. This Intersecting Feelings Mito. When you use this card's backup, all of your characters with Asuna get weapon until end of turn, which is kind of funky, but it's whatever. It's the fact that it's a 3k backup at level 1. So you pay 1, reveal this card, put this card at the bottom of your deck for the cost of the backup. So you get a 3k backup, but this goes forcibly to the bottom of your deck. So be mindful, make certain that you can search the deck or shuffle it in some shape, form, or fashion so that your opponent doesn't know there's guaranteed damage on the bottom of the deck. So just be mindful of that. But 2 copies of that, which is very understandable, just to make certain your opponent doesn't really get any too terribly much advantage, even as early as level 1. Kind of nuts there. Silica on Guard, a 1/1/6k. If the number of other avatar net characters you have is 2 or more, she gains 15 and character encore. So your typical 7,500 character encore level 1. Good standby targets always. 2 copies of Trusted Skills Elizabeth is a 1/04k, gets 500 power for each of your other avatar net, so she'll be constantly a 6k. And before we get to the accelerate thing, think about that. Even if you just just have this on field, she's a 6k. She's a 9k threat with this backup, and this is a 10/5 threat before any other buffs. Just wanted to point that out. But Accelerate. At the beginning of your climax phase, you can put the top card of your deck into your clock. If you do until the end of this turn, this gets +1 level and the following ability. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you can salvage back an avatar net character from waiting room. Really nice, and because she goes up a level, she can get around level 1 reversers or anything of that nature, but it does become a thing of you basically are taking a damage to salvage back something. So because there's not the advantage engine Silica is only but so good, but understandable. All right, so going to Argo the Rat. This rat looks different than what I'm used to seeing. 00500. Your events can be played from your hand without fulfilling color requirement. Now I do want to take a quick peek. I don't really see events in here. I had to make certain because a lot of events will be after the level 0. So there's no real targets for this, but it's an option in case you do want to put, say, Demonic Sword Graham, if you want to put in Opposition by the Shield. There's quite a few really, really good events that you can use for this. Granted, a lot of those are going to be kind of on color for this anyway. Minus Opposition by the Shield's green, to be completely fair, but like Demonic Sword Graham is red, and you're already running red, so understandable there. When your climax is placed into your climax area, give a character 1k, and Brainstorm. Pay 1, rest this, mill 4 for each climax. You get to salvage a character back from your waiting room. So really good Brainstormer overall. I'm surprised at how cheap it is right now. Moving on, this one I'm actually not familiar with. How about something sweet, Asana? When this card is placed on stage from hand, pay 1, pitch 1, you get to salvage you get to search your deck for an avatar net character. So just typical drop searcher. And on attack, look at the top card of your deck, put it on top of your deck or into your waiting room. So this serves kind of the dual purpose of maybe, you know, going ahead and grabbing Liz or some other combo pieces, whatever you feel you need. Probably even trying to grab copies of the Silica for the standby. But also on attack, look at the top card of your deck. You can purposely mill a card off the top of your deck so you get that much closer to a standby. So understandable there. 2 copies of that. 4 copies of these. It's a promo. Augmented Reality, Kirito, and Asana. This is kind of cool, but it's also very hard to see on my screen. I'm not even kidding here. During your turn, this gets 1,000. At the beginning of your opponent's draw phase, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is level 1 or higher, if it's level 1 or higher, you may return this card to your hand. So it's just one of those top check, bounce it back, depending on what gets revealed. And in a standby, you're going to have typically a higher level 1 and higher count. So understandable there to have 4 copies of that. That just looks really fucking cool being a promo. You get the Cade seal of approval on this one. That's pretty cool. 4 copies of Close Call Silica. It's a 002K. When this is placed on stage from hand, look at the top card of your deck, put it on top or on bottom, or into your waiting room. Top deck or waiting room, to specify that. This does let you try to go ahead and mill for more, putting more standby targets into the waiting room. But also, if you do that and you see, oh, this is a card that I want to keep, that's where the climax combo comes into play. When a card named Heinous Trap, which is the standby, is placed in your climax area, you can bounce this back to your hand if you do reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an avatar net character, put it into your hand. So on play, you basically can look, see what it is, go, I definitely want that in my hand later. Put it back on top. Let me play the do the combo, bounce it. Oh, look, guess what? I just added a hand. This is also useful with the Argo because you can play this top check. Oh, it's a climax. Do I need this choice? Do I need this standby? Or do I want to brainstorm? You can kind of plan things out accordingly, and it's really, really nice in the synergy of that. 4 copies of that, 100%. Like, there's no argument there. Spring Blooms, Rika and Suguha and Keiko. When this card is placed, it's a 002K. On play, gets a 1500 power buff until end of turn, so it'll be a 35. But it is the climax swapper of the deck. When this is placed on stage from hand, pay 1, pitch a climax to grab back a climax from waiting room. So understandable, definitely have to run it. This is also, speaking of like the whole top check thing, this is also just a really, really fucking like, this is such a good card, but it's an old card. This was so highly used with like brainstormers back in the day with like the Zekken shot. It's a level 0 or lower reverser. It's gathering material silica. The reverser part was kind of whatever. It's the fact that everyone and their mother was like, okay, cool. If I do this, I top check, I see it's an avatar net character, it goes to my hand, and then I discard a card, I'm that much closer to possibly being able to hit a climax with a brainstorm. Or if you revealed it, you saw it, once again, like I said with the other silica, I see that it's a climax. Let me plan out my turn accordingly. If it's a standby, do I need the standby? If it's a choice, do I need the stock? Do I want to brainstorm? Just a lot of good cards, a Silica especially, to do that and like using the top deck information for that purpose. Really good there. But yeah, also a 0 reverser, kind of whatever. Cute Mischief Silica is a 001K. Placed on stage from hand, perform the following action 2 times. Once again, look at the top card of your deck, put it on top of your deck or into your waiting room. That top checking effect, once again, becoming so clutch here. Let's just go ahead and toss all of our fucking standby targets into the waiting room and then just play accordingly. When this card attacks, if you do not have another character in your backstage, you may put the top card of your deck into your waiting room. If that card is level 0 or lower, put that character on any position of your backstage. And because you do this effect twice, you could probably set up very, very well for oh, I see, there's my Argo Brainstormer. I see there's my Silica. Like, whatever you need, or even just using the top check 2 twice thing to once again get information. There's a lot of cards in here that dig for information, and I really, really like that. Sorry, my head was covering up her, but understandably so with that art. And that is it for the zeros. 4 copies of Reliable Information, the 1k1 choice trigger for the Argo, and 4 copies of Heinous Trap, it's a trap, the standby trigger for the Silica. And that is going to be it for us today. Thank you very much, Nuke, for sharing this in the Community Fridays tab. Kind of a walk down memory lane for me as well. Like I said, I would run like standby and stuff like actually at tournaments, so like regionals and stuff like that. Just really, really fun to see. And I like the new take because I kind of wanted to go back to some SAO decks with like the new anniversary cards and see like, okay, which ones that aren't like anniversary trait locked can I shove into these decks and actually like give a good bit of a power boost. The Argo is an amazing example of that, as well as the Liz stock swap. So really cool, really fun to see this. So once again, thank you very much, Nuke, for sharing this. And if you also want to share your decks as well in the Base Damage Discord, if you want to see it possibly aired on Community Fridays, feel free to join the Discord, and there will be 2 different channels. There's a Community Fridays channel and a decklist submission channel. Either one, feel free to toss it in either one if you have a deck you maybe want me to take a look at. And if I like it, I'll be more than happy to show it off here on the channel. So thank y'all very much for watching. Y'all stay safe and remember to stay based.